It requires a change in refractive index. You know this.
We're looking horizontally. There's no change.
Vertically, there's a change in refractive index, and so
yeah, and we're looking horizontally. So you just
the light moves vertically, Angel.
All right.
We're looking horizontally.
The light goes up.
The light can go up. The light can come down depending on where the light source is originating from. Angel,
you know horizontally.
Angel, you know this.
All right, beach lover. Let's go.
James or Ryan, this question was for us.
Well, I was
respond.
If you want to just close this one out, we'll carry on.
Yeah. He's saying the light goes up from a building over long distances. If it went up, we can see it. It has to be moving horizontally. There's no different medium stacked vertically over long distances. The air stacks horizontally. It layers up. That's why you Globers always talk about a pressure gradient that attenuates as you go up, even though you have the ozone layer debunking that. Go ahead, Ryan. Thanks for letting me go.
No worries. Yeah, we'll go back to our main screen. These screen shares, I tell you, they can just be out to lunch sometimes, guys. Once again, hit that like button. We're working hard here at Modern Day Debate. You're right, Mark. I really would appreciate a producer. That would be a whole lot of fun to keep this all in order every once in a while. Because you guys have so many questions, and like I say, sometimes I try to sift through them, and they're so similar, or honestly, they're just not even worth engaging sometimes, because you guys really just want to be vitriolic, and that's okay too. Maybe I'll come back post stream and we'll have some fun. Roland says, put an hour clock on the ceiling, and no matter how you look at it, the rotation doesn't change. Explain this, Flurfs.
Yeah, so if the ceiling fan curved all the way around you, like the stars actually did to the horizon due to perspective, they would go the opposite direction when you face up.
Okay.
Not how the south circumpolar star rotation looks, though.
All right, last thought there, Angel, if you want, or we'll move on.
Yeah. So the point that it converges to is due to eyesight as well, and also if you look at the side of a Rig magnet ferrocell and then look at how it actually wraps around, it creates that effect as well. And also, yeah, due to perspective.
All right, let's carry on. The grumpy old mechanic, and I do apologize to the Globe side. We haven't had as many questions for you for your side.
We've had almost none.
Yeah, I've tried to give you some bouncing back and forth, but trying to move through these, in this time frame, it's yeah. I appreciate your patience. There's been a lot. I'm gonna give you guys a chance to respond to these last three. We're gonna bounce it, okay? Just going to let our panel know. We're going to completely go through.
Fair enough.
Flick this thing around. All right. The grumpy old mechanic says, why does every university library have hundreds of feet of shelf space devoted to astronomy and astrophysics? I think everybody can talk on that.
Astronomy, astrophysics, and cosmology is not science, because you can't science the sky. So you can't have an independent variable that you as a researcher manipulate to determine the cause of your effect. So all you can do with the sky is observe and declare. Correlation isn't causation. That's not science. Pretending you can science the sky is like snatching your own wig off and calling yourself a pseudoscientist. Thanks for playing.
Thoughts
yeah,
on
also I've seen Venus myself. I've seen stars myself. My high power optics. What does that prove? They don't even look solid to me at all. They look like lights.
I'm curious if Nathan is like an AI, because he always seems to end his phrases in the same code words. But anyway,
let's try to stick to
I promise I'll respond. Yeah. So I mean, look, who are we to doubt Nathan as the arbiter of what is science rather than the actual scientists themselves? I mean, look, there are things called observational sciences and there are experimental sciences. Astronomy is an example of an observational science. That said, there are experimental aspects to astronomy where you can use, for example, different optics. If you want to measure different things, you can predict, for example, if I change my optics so that it absorbs this kind of frequency, what will I observe? And that can align or not align with your predictions. And that's a way that you can control an independent variable. Furthermore, you can use as your independent variable the things that you're looking at. If I say, I predict that when I look at a part of the sky that has a low density of microwave background radiation, that I will see fewer galaxies. And then you go and you look in a part of the sky that has a less dense area of the cosmic microwave background radiation, and there are fewer galaxies there. That's a prediction that's come true. You can use correlating factors to become your independent variables.
All right,
Yeah, and
Mark.
I'll just quickly add that
ahead.
sort of over the course of our history, like all of these scientific foundations are backing it up, and they've produced a ton of research on all kinds of myriad of things, from medicines to, things to make our lives better, computers, internet. There's a million things that they've produced. And Nathan wants to come in and say, no, they're all wrong. I'm right. But what has Flat Earth actually produced in the way of scientific research at all?
All right, let's close her out there, guys. Let's carry into the next one. I do want to
I
give.
talked to 5 seconds, Nathan. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. I would say let's let Mark have the closings on these last few here. I'll let you guys start them, and we'll let Mark close them. Or Dr. Blitz, just because, like I say, we did have a lot of questions for you guys, so you did get most of the talking time. Ellie Yer says the frequency they used was below hertz. It would get observed by ionosphere, not bounce. Explain that.
Absorb.
That's actually a question for us, and that's a pretty fair characterization. What's really happening when you have gases reflecting light or electromagnetic radiation off of them, what they're really doing is absorbing and re-emitting. And so that is a thing that happens. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Did you have anything to add there, Mark?
Nope, I'm good.
No, okay, that's great, because we are just about to the end of our super
Wait,
chats.
on these last couple, I thought we're going both sides.
Well, we were, but I was going to let them close it out. So that one was for them. If you want to get through, that's one thing. But if you want to respond, I think that's fine, and then we'll let them close it.
Yeah, can I share screen real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Because documentation always beats conversation. Here's a 515-mile NATO microwave transmission, proves flat Earth. We're going to scroll forward to Marconi's 2,000-mile radio transmission. Here's the SOSUS program that detected subs over 2,000 miles away. Marconi was back here. I think I skipped it. Yeah, here it is. Giliar Marconi.
Documentation is a video.
Disproved detractors who told him that. Could I finish, guys? You can respond. So he disproved detractors who told him the curvature of Earth would limit transmission to 200 miles or less, which is still ridiculous, because if we had a radar horizon caused by the physical geometric horizon, a 50-foot tower would have a radar horizon at like 10 miles out. You wouldn't have a 200-mile radar horizon. This electromagnetic energy, like Blitz described earlier, travels in straight lines. And we have Army documents that states that electromagnetic energy is propagating over a flat Earth with constant permittivity. So I'll scroll forward in this. There's all sorts of evidence in this. That'll
10
blow
seconds.
your mind. This is on my TikTok. Make sure you check it out.
This isn't relevant. Can we go to the
Playing
question rather than
Crimea
just
River.
random stuff that he wants to throw up?
This is random stuff. And a 31-mile observation.
Yeah, it's not related to the question, Nathan. That's
Not
the
really,
whole
yeah.
point.
All right,
of
we
just
got.
throwing up
Let's
random
move
stuff.
on. Let's
Talking
move
about
on.
the horizon.
Like I said, we'll end the screen share there, but we will let this play out in the sphere of the public eye. So
Question wasn't on the horizon.
We were supposed to
I'm
we were supposed to finish closing, yeah?
yeah. So let's.
question.
We'll let you finish the closing there. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
I mean,
we'll move on to the next question.
Yes, people didn't when Marconi was making his first transmission, people didn't understand ionospheric bounces, which is the phrase that we use for absorption and then re-emission. Like Marconi thought that it would happen, I guess, and so he did it, and it happened, and then we were like, oh, I guess this is a thing that happens. Okay.
They didn't know the ionosphere existed before.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I mean, in the early 1900s, I would not be surprised if they didn't know it existed, and
Yeah, they
then
made
you
it
can run
up.
tests and figure
They
out it
made it up.
existed. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I was supposed to closing it up. Yeah. I mean, you can go up. You can just measure it. You can just see what happens. You can just do these kinds of experiments yourself if you want. But I guess you're not interested in actual data.
And this is a sort of a fallacy point, because we didn't know about penicillin as well, and we discovered that. It doesn't mean we made it up. Just because somebody discovers something, you don't just say, well, they made it up. No, this is just your faith-based bias, just discounting anything that you don't want to believe.
All right.
That's basically it.
Let's get to the next super chat. This super chatter wanted to help me out with their name. I thank you so much. As I told you before, my autism just does not read words that long. That's crazy to me. All right, so it says it sounds like onomatopoeia phobic. Onomatopoeia phobic. I'll work on it. Okay, I'll work on it. Okay. Dr. B, can you briefly summarize what topic you have published on, most recent or favorite. Ooh, where's your audio? Your
Blitz, you're muted.
it's not
Oh,
me.
sorry. Yeah. No, it was my end. Yeah. So the thing I published most recently, or at least I submitted for publication, we submitted it yesterday, was a cosmology paper. So we're discussing the Big Bounce and how there's this thing called the Big Freeze, which is this idea in cosmology that some people have, and the paper that we wrote shows that this is not a stable configuration of a cosmological solution when you have something called holographic dark energy. Generally, I read about conformal submanifold invariance. That's what I did my thesis on. That's what I was at a conference for. It's one of my favorite things to talk about, but it's a lot more mathematical, a lot less physics. Nathan, you look stupid when you do that, right?
He looks like a crazy person.
He's allowed to do what he wants while he's on the camera. Like I said, we'll let our audience decide how they feel about what's going on screen. NASA Security Force says LIGO. It's flat and level. One ball at each end rolls to center. Both sides explain how it affects Cavendish. Thanks for playing, bro.
How does LIGO affect Cavendish? Angel, have you ever heard this?
All right. Well, we'll hand it to
Okay.
Mark and Dr. Blitz. Do you want to LIGO? It's flat and level.
I mean, I've heard of those things. I don't know how that correlates.
So LIGO is level and flat in this case, in the sense that a laser beam passes from one end to the other directly. It's not being bent. However, in order to do this, because the Earth is curved, it actually has to go under the Earth. Well, slightly has to go under the surface of the Earth, or rather, be slightly depending on which part of the LIGO arm you're on, has to be slightly lower to the ground because of the way that the Earth's shape is. So, like, imagine that you have like two things sticking up, and there's a straight line connecting them. The ground between the bar connecting the two rods is going to be smaller, and so you're actually going to have it kind of is downwards in the sense of gravitational gradient. So a ball can roll even though a laser can pass directly between the two.
Did you have any evidence for that or no?
This is in the design documents for LIGO if you want.
Yeah, like the ball rolling actually is the evidence.
Well, he said the laser was great.
They did adjust for curvature, yeah, when building it. That's exactly what they had to do.
So if
they adjust for curvature in all kinds of architectural designs. They have to adjust for curvature in tunnels. They have to adjust for curvature all over the place. Bridges, they adjust for curvature. Or like tons of surveyors, engineers, they're all aware they have to adjust for the curvature of the Earth. You guys are the only ones that don't think they do.
I'm giving you the last word there, Mark. I'm giving Mark the last word just because he hasn't gotten it nearly enough throughout the debate. Guys, you've got questions from Mark? Dr. Blitz has started sharing a screen. What's going on? I thought we were going to move on.
I'm sorry, this is a LIGO engineering document. It specifically says the curvature of the Earth will cause the Earth's surface to deviate from the straight line propagated by light in a vacuum by 1.25 meters over a 4-kilometer path. They do account for it.
Wow. But then they ignore it. They ignore it on plane. They ignore it on plane surveying.
So you're just dodging back to planes? Okay, good one.
Yeah, sure.
No, plane surveying.
That's not what I said.
You're not paying attention.
He doesn't even listen, this guy.
I know, right? Just
like,
so let's see. IC Spin says, thanks, Bob.
It's called a non sequitur, mate. That's what it's called.
All right, let's move into the next question. IC Spin says, thanks, Bob. RIP. Okay, thanks, IC Spin. Ali Yera says, what? No answer? Wow. All right. Ali Yera follows up with that one, says, no tower intermediators, just at line of sight. 700 miles plus, less than 10 millihertz.
I don't know who that question was for. Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine, gents, at this point. My brain is goo. No, you can't help me out? Okay, let's see. June's last super chat. We're going to go into closing statements. Oh my God, yes. My goodness. Last super chat, and we will let our speakers do their closing. I think our speakers are well and ready to go after 4 hours, guys. They've rocked a really long stream. Let's get to your chat there, Jones. A submarine horizon is ocean floor, and it rises. Apparently, bottom of a boat is above, so it must come down to eye level. Flat logic first, and then
on the ocean floor would ramp up. Why does it appear to ramp up if it's supposed to be curving down and away?
Extra blank.
All right. Just going to remind some of the people in our live chat just to behave themselves. I will unequivocally do timeouts if you say things that are just out to lunch. Behave yourself over there in our live chat. So we're going to do our closings there, everybody. So thank you to our speakers. Thank you to our live chat for all of the awesome questions. Let's see here. Yeah, we've got still over 1,000 people watching, even with the crash. We still have 1,000 people watching, which means that we should be well over 1,000 likes. You guys have thumbs, don't you? Or, skin that generates heat? I would hope so. So, hit that like button. I've done it with my nose before. So that's proof that you can do it too. Unless there's something wrong with you, in which case, don't judge me. All right.
Touch screens don't use heat.
Okay.
By the way.
Okay. Well, whatever happens with my nose. Okay. If you have skin.
It's skin.
Okay.
It's skin. In fact, cat paws can activate touchscreens too.
Oh man, I've been corrected. What have there been touch screens that are heat activated, or is that
They're either resistive or they're capacitive, never heat activated.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that because I don't know some things. I swear about most things. So let's see on our panel.
Stylus works.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, on new phones, I imagine. I always felt like the old tech was like that. So I thought I was making a dated reference, but I stand corrected. I do believe. So who's the most compelling on the panel tonight? We have a 20% for Nathan Thompson. We have 10% for Angel, 18% for Mark Reid. So Dr. Blitz, you have absolutely blown out our poll there at 52%. Second place with Nathan Thompson. So gold and silver there, fellas. That's fun.
Haven't we been through this already?
Well, we're just rechecking
I've
it.
got deja vu. Okay.
We're rechecking
it.
You
did another poll. Okay, cool.
It's not another poll. It's just when I checked it the first time, we were at like 250 votes, and now we're almost at 600. No
All right,
worries.
fantastic.
All right, so let's do those closings, guys. So let's start with I'm just trying to remember who went first and go the reverse order. That's how I go it. So
Angel
Dr.
went
Blitz
first,
would be the first to go for the closing.
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot to say. I mean, suffice it to say, there were a lot of questions that went unanswered by both Mark and myself. We still don't have an answer for why we observe effects of the Coriolis effect, how you were able to circumnavigate Antarctica in both directions, even though there's this circumpolar winds. Lots of questions unanswered. No predictions, no models ever provided by either Angel or Nathan. And we'll probably never get them because flat earthers don't do science. They just say it looks flat and therefore it must be flat. That's all I have.
All right, over to you, Mark Reid. 1 minute on the floor. Your thoughts on tonight's discussion, where everybody can find you all there. So actually, before I do close, over to Mark, do you want to let everybody know where they can find you there, Dr. Blitz?
Yeah. So I have a TikTok account. That's where I do most of my content. I post science content, try to do daily, but I've been quite busy lately. It's at Blitz PhD. You can also look for just Dr. Blitz, so pretty easy to find. I also have a YouTube channel, same name. You can follow me on Blue Sky, on Instagram, although I never post there. So yeah, at Blitz PhD or Dr. Blitz, you'll find me at all the social medias.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming out to Modern Day Debate. I appreciate it. It was a great joy to host you. Hopefully you'll be back again for more juicy debates on Modern Day Debate. Mark Reid, up to 1 minute on the floor.
Yeah, so I agree with Dr. Blitz. We asked a lot of questions and none of them we got sufficient answers for. And most of them were just sort of horrible misinterpretations of physics or science and can be very easily countered with what we see around us. Like, that thing that you should be dragged backwards by the earth or you're being thrown about by the earth, and it's very easily countered by throwing up a ball and moving its inertial frame of reference, things like that. But I think the most telling thing was when asking about that circumnavigation of Antarctica, they just would not answer the question, tried to get away from it, absolutely dodged, ducked, dipped, and just ran completely. They didn't want to answer it because they have to appeal to very specific currents, and get this, very specific currents. Well, actually, their answer first was the wind, right? It was the wind blowing these ships exactly as they needed to in order to attain these fantastical speeds. But then after they get challenged on
5 seconds.
How do the motor ones do? They immediately shift, and that's all they do. They shift to something else. And in this case, it's these very specific channels
That's
that apparently nobody's ever measured.
Ryan,
So
let's
yeah,
give him more
just
time.
just
We spent 4 hours.
absolutely
here, bro.
ridiculous.
We spent 4 hours here, bro. If he has more to
No,
say,
I'm fine. I'm
I'd
done.
like-
I'm done.
I'd like to
I'm
hear
done.
it.
I'm done.
But like,
I'm done.
I'd like more
I'm
time. to
done.
speak. We've been here
I'm
4
done.
hours.
No, I don't
Finally,
think so.
like-
I don't think so.
All right.
Dr. Blitz has already been. Let's just keep it as it is. Go for it.
We are getting, yeah, let's get to bed there, fellas. I mean, yeah, it's almost 2 o'clock my time, I swear. You know, I need to hit the hay. Honestly, my internal clock is so messed up by now. It's fine. Nathan, you were the second first to go, so
Yep.
1 minute on the floor.
Thanks, Ryan. At the real Nathan Thompson on TikTok, flatearthflyers@gmail.com. If you want one of my thumbnails, there's 500 flat Earth books, over 100 videos, 1,000 memes, astrophotography, Tesla files, hidden books from scripture. It's worth getting. Ask anyone who has it. Blitz said, not a whole lot to say. I guess gravity's got his tongue. Mark and Blitz both cried about unanswered questions. Well, asking flat Earth questions in 2024 is kind of ridiculous. You guys think we're dumb and we deny reality. You should have been showing proof the whole time. Respond to evidence, not nonsense. We respond to evidence, not nonsensical non sequiturs. So asking us about trips around Antarctica that you didn't take, you don't have any video from, you don't have any evidence of, is a non sequitur. We don't even need to respond to that. So on top of that, crying about asking flat Earth, on you Blitz, you'd be a great flat earther one day. Mark, not so much. If you need flyers, let me know. We want to get you to heaven. These guys want to send you to hell. Keep that in mind. Blitz spends half his time hating on God on social media and admits he gets paid to communicate science.
5
The other half
seconds.
of the time by the GOV. Interesting. The creator loves you. You can test everything we said yourself. Land surveyors don't adjust for curvature. So when these donuts lie and say
That's
they
done.
adjust for curvature over bridges and buildings, they're lying. If you think it's spinning, you're drunk. If you think it's tilting, you're drinking too much
That's
lean.
time.
All right, sorry,
Or
Nathan, we do have to
you're
cut you
high.
off.
So, explain.
All right, you heard him. If you believe all that stuff, you're high. I don't know what I'm doing right now. No, I'm just joking around, guys. You know, I'm in Canada. It's fine. You know, there's no quandary here. Thank you so much to our panel for coming out and having the debate. We have one last closing statement from Angel, our first speaker on the panel. So, if you enjoyed tonight's debate, if you missed the beginning, go back to the beginning of this debate. It was a lot of fun. You know, we did have to go into muted rounds, which might not be as fun for some of you, but we did get to definitely have some interesting back and forth, maybe a little less wild than some of the debates that we've had the last few days, where we haven't gotten as much on the table, maybe. So it's up to you to decide. That's why we do what we do. Angel, 1 minute on the floor. Thanks so much for being at Modern Day Debate again. We appreciate you.
No problem. So airplanes, yep, like I said, and like the pilots admit, they don't adjust for curvature because they don't need to. The Earth is flat and stationary. I showed evidence for the local sun changing size with the solar filter ND1 million. I showed evidence that we see too far. The horizon's not a geometric location where birds go over. It is an apparent location where the sky meets the ground. And it changes data like the Earth. We see too far. So in the Chicago skyline, I've really wanted to bring up more evidence, but we had this stupid 2 minute each and I couldn't bring up anything. But we see too far. The Chicago skyline is just sitting there on a clear day. When we actually do see the Chicago skyline with the superior mirage, it doesn't look anything like it. It's very hazy, unclear. All the math has been done. We take into account the height, observer height, everything. We shouldn't be able to see any of the buildings. I have all
10
these
seconds.
other observations. Yeah, so if you want to see any of my content, Angels of Light on TikTok, I have the sunsets, I have all proof that we see too far and everything. Thank you.
See, this is why I don't leave my preamp up, everybody. All right. Well, thank you so much, Angel, for your closing statement. We appreciate you coming out to Modern Day Debate. It's been a lot of fun. We really, like I say, appreciate these debates, especially leading up to such an epic event as it might appear to most people on screen. The final experiment, we're going to be having more debates regarding that subject. So if either of the speakers, any of the speakers on screen right now want to have debates regarding what's going on with that subject, Nathan's giving us a no. He does not approve, it seems, of the final experiment. Well, Nathan, I know people that want to debate you on that. So definitely stay tuned for that to our live audience. That's something that we will definitely visit if that's a possibility in the future. In the meantime, hit that like button, subscribe to Modern Day Debate. We appreciate you. I'm going to get my silly butt to bed. And once again, thank you to our
I went to grad school around here, so I know where the food is.
Can anybody get poutine where you're at?
I got poutine for the first time. I was in Banff last week.
I can get it in
There's
Dallas.
nothing like it.
It was something. It was something special.
Dude, we can get it in Vegas too. There's a place called the Modern Vegan. They have every option you could ever think of, and there's poutine there.
I don't think
Ryan,
you can have
come to
poutine that's
Vegas?
vegan. Doesn't it have cheese?
Well, they make it vegan. But Ryan, you ever come to Vegas? I'm buying you some vegan poutine, bro. On the house, dude. I love you.
Oh man!
All right,
yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
wander
the
down to the
majority
hotel
of
and grab some
Canadian
food.
likes
Grab some food.
poutine.
Take care.
All right.
All right,
some
see you,
fun,
Blitz.
everybody. Let's get you guys back though. If you want to have
Yeah.
like a religious unpack, that's
Sure.
totally fine. I'm cool with that. But I do feel like we gotta let you guys go. And but
Yeah, sure.
definitely send me a message, Nathan. I want to let you know that the Craig is messaging me and he wants to debate you. I know you know that because I had him on the other day and
Dude, fight the
mentioned
flag.
you at one point.
Sure.
All right,
fight the
just
flag.
1 second. Angel, hit me up if you do want to debate theology. I'm more than happy to. No worries at all.
I just want the answer to that one question.
Well, I
Even
mean,
now, Nathan, we're getting interrupted. No.
yeah. Well, I mean,
So,
I have to go because I've got an audience. So, like, if you want to debate it or discuss it, hit me up, and James has got my email address. They can give it out. All right.
All right, Mark Reid, have
See
fun.
you.
Hi, Mark Reid's audience.
Bye, Mark's
hopefully you don't
audience.
hate me. all that.
Research.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna grab. Is my camera working? Oh, my camera is not working. All right. This is pretty strange, but I've got to reset this up. There's the behind the scenes. Sorry, my bad. Okay, hello. Yeah, no, that was a wild debate, really long. I probably won't stay for long and sort of give my opinions and stuff, but I mean, Dr. Blitz was absolutely fantastic. I really felt like I knew nothing next to him, which is probably what you would expect from a PhD physicist. Like it's like when I'm talking to Dr. Tapioca Weasel, I feel like I know nothing. But I mean, the flat earthers, they like, I really liked when I pinned them on that question of circumnavigation of the Antarctica, because at first it's it's wind, then it's ocean currents. This is what they do. They'll give an answer, and as soon as it's debunked, they will just go to something else and pretend they never said the first thing in the first place. That sort of size of the sun shape. Excuse me. I could have sworn they said 60 at one point, but then at another point they're saying 20%, then it goes up to 30, then they said 40%. Like, it just changes all the time. And it really does show that they really do not know. They don't have any answers. They will just say whatever to make it work. I think Dr. Blitz did way better than me, to be quite honest with you. But that's what I would expect out of a PhD physicist, that they study that for a living, and I don't. I do feel a little humbled for sure. Not that I did badly. It's just, he obviously knew a lot more than me. surprise, surprise. It's not unusual, and I'm cool with that. I'm totally fine with that, and I want to thank you so much for supporting me, because that was kind of rough. Like, that was a rough one. But that's what Nathan Thompson's like. He really wants that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't feel bad about it. Let's see if I can't get into there and maybe just read out some of the super chats that came through.
Hey there, Randy.
I feel like I at least owe people that. Give me 1 second, and I definitely will set up that.
What up? You can hear me? I can, yeah.
To sort of just do a light YouTube stream for you, because even though we didn't make the 2 hours, that's it. I don't care. 4-hour debate. That's rough. That's rough. I might get something to eat. Maybe drop into the after show. The after show is pinned in the channel above me. It's on Austin Sims.
That's right. We're already slobbering on your knob over here, Mark. You did great. Yeah, we're just all over it, man.
Look, Nathan beat me in the poll, and that's fine. I totally get that. It's not a problem. The whole point is that of the people watching,
Reggio's, come hang out.
The Globe side was more convincing. They thought that Blitz was more convincing than me. And that's totally understandable.
No,
I think Dr. Blitz was more convincing than me.
Yeah, they thought Blitz was more convincing.
If I was voting in the poll, I'd probably vote for him as well. He's
on individual issues.
I see spin for $1.99.
And Mark is better at this than I am.
Fire garbage.
Blitz is a lot better at this than I am.
Garbage fire indeed.
I don't know how to compare them.
Robin Webster says Earth will never be flat.
Yeah.
Sound low. Earth will never be flat. Sound low. And then globes.
Where is Mark on? Is Mark on his own channel right now?
Faith-based position that they had IC spin. It's actually quite.
I think he's I'm streaming his YouTube channel. But I think he does most of the stuff on StreamYard.
Sort of preach, when they've got no evidence, they just preach, and they're trying to send you to hell and we're sending you to heaven. It's like, what has that got to do with the shape of the earth? Like, seriously,
it's the moral panic
really
thing.
It's very weird. And then when somebody asks, does
it's crazy. Moral panics are insane, man.
What does it matter then?
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird. It's so weird.
It is, and it gets people hurt a lot too. Is the
other Jedi for $2 American dollars says, how thick is the flat Earth? Not as much as the flat Earth.
Hold on, I'm gonna send him the.
That's something. Is that you, Ralph? For $5,
I'm gonna send him the link.
Says, we should all pitch in and get Mark acquired a keyboard. Yeah, I'm so sorry. My OBS for some reason defaulted to the standard input and not my filter, which filters out all the clackety clack. So my apologies. Definitely, if that happens, do let me know, because I've got a filter that can absolutely clean that up. My apologies, Ralph. That was certainly not intentional. Bit of truth for $10 says, Mark, hold Nathan where he shows the sunset. I'll ask him if this is what it shows. Then you are right on globe Earth, and that's why it's showing Earth rotation and globe.
Hello, everybody.
On globe Earth, and that's why it's showing Earth rotation.
Was that?
I'm not sure what that means.
I was just saying hello to the watchers. We've got Dr. Blitz. Yo, Dr. Blitz.
Okay.
Hold on.
Dr.
Blitz.
I'm not paying.
You did awesome, man. Congratulations.
So things might
put your hands up, dude.
I can't
give
keep
an eye on the victory lap. Take a bow and leave. Wow,
nonsense.
That was awesome.
I'm not that good yet. One day.
I appreciate that.
Do you have a ponytail? Yeah. Hell yes. Okay, hold on. Let me just. Okay.
I feel like it's every tall white physics guy has a.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm trying to prove that by that is, you guys have been trained to notice patterns, and that is definitely a real pattern. This is absolutely a real pattern. 100%.
Beautiful.
And yep. There we go. Right. See, I normally have mine up in a ponytail too, but we got the glasses.
We got the ponytail. He is clean shaven at the moment, but we can tell by looking at the 5 o'clock shadow that he does have the beard.
I never. So look, I was in Norway for work. I was collaborating with somebody last September. It was my first attempt at growing a beard because I've always shaved every morning because my wife hates facial hair. And so like I also like it's just itchy and I have like probably a stinge of the tism. And so like I dealt with it for a week because I wasn't around my wife. I was, in Norway for work. So I grew it out. I'm like, it's not a good look for me. So
that's fair.
You do what we do.
Like I know what you I know what you mean. There are definitely some looks that will never be a good look for me. For example, a solo mustache. God damn the lighting in this room. Hold on, let me change it really quick.
Dr. Blitz, well, we got a second here. What does your wife think about you debating these kinds of people? Because
honestly, I think she just deals with it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, like she's not like so we live in like a small by American standards apartment. And so like whenever I'm doing debates, which I do like 3 times a week, she just goes into the bedroom and I'm out in the living room. And those are the 2 rooms that we have. And she just like reads manga or watches anime or something while I'm doing my thing.
Play Stardew Valley on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, you definitely clocked her.
I mean, all of these are very reasonable mental exercises compared to hanging out with and dealing with flirfs.
Yeah, no, that's
it really is. It just genuinely is that dumb.
That was 4 hours of some of the most purest human altruism I think you can find on the internet. And it is such pearls before swine with the flirfers. I'm kind of mad for you guys sometimes that you have to go through that to do the good that you do.
I've never seen Nathan so well behaved.
By the way, can I invite somebody?
That was well behaved, Vandy.
Yes,
that was
for Nathan Thompson. That was well behaved.
Oh my god!
Do you mind if I invite somebody who's also a physicist, by the way, who's watching?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if he'll come, but he's a good dude.
If they're a friend of Dr. Blitz, they're a friend of mine.
Everything about who I am and what I represent endorses this.
He's a good dude, a friend of mine.
Absolutely, yeah. Have him on.
Yeah, he's a nuclear physicist. He's
everybody, please.
Wait, so
in the chat, your thoughts about this debate.
What type of physicist are you again?
If you ask a physicist, they'll tell you I'm a mathematician. And if you ask a mathematician, they'll tell you I'm a physicist. I do.
I'm asking
geometry.
you.
So I do differential geometry and relativity, and so that ties in with cosmology, black holes. But also, I just do.
Wait, so you're like Roger Penrose.
He is kind of my idol. So let's say yeah. I actually got a selfie with him like a month
ago.
Like
a mathematical, you're like a mathematical relativist, but your subject matter is intrinsically physical, even though like your day-to-day ballywick is mathematical, sort of.
Yeah,
like, the subject matter is still intrinsically physical.
Depends. I mean, so funny story. The paper that I was talking about at the end. I do this thing on TikTok where every Tuesday. At least when I'm home, every Tuesday, I'll just pick a paper that comes out on the archive, and like usually short, like less than 10 pages, and just read it and kind of explain what's going on, just as like so people can get a taste of what modern research is like. And so I read this paper on something called a long freeze, which is a result from holographic dark energy, whatever. So I read the paper and I'm like, this is a little bit suspect. So I write an email to the authors, and then we ended up collaborating and writing a paper on it.
Nice.
So that was just like a random cosmology paper that just comes from I guess TikTok or something. But yeah, I mean a lot of my stuff is like
it comes from reading their paper.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't have read it otherwise.
Doing it.
I wouldn't have read it otherwise.
I know I'm talking.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
I mean, right now because like 80% of those words just.
I've never heard a more amazing endorsement of TikTok science.
Right? It actually like that, and then So I'm also on the job market right now, and I'm applying for postdocs, and I'm really hoping that I get one in Pennsylvania. But I posted a video on my TikTok page saying, "Hey, if you're on the hiring committee and you're watching this, here's why you should hire me." You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And somebody in the comments said, "Hey, one of my best friends is on the board of trustees of that university." And I'm like, "Okay, please help."
Exactly. I mean, I am not at Pennsylvania. I'm in California,
You're at
but
Stanford or something?
I'm at Stanford. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm actually like right next to you. I'm in Davis right now.
Really? Holy shit! Wait,
Yeah.
how
I'm
far
here
is
visiting
that?
a colleague.
Wow, that's amazing. How long are you here?
I leave on Wednesday.
Hey, Blitz, we got this question from Sydney Raptor in the chat. He wants me to ask you if you know Clive Wells from Cambridge. Yeah.
I don't know that name.
I know that name. So Clive Wells is very active on some of the Discords that I'm on, including Dr. Professor Parks. Do you know him?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll hook you up.
Oh, he's like a GR person, like he does relativity. Is he still?
He's an astronomer, and he's done a lot of like he has on his channel like 3 or 4 multi-hour videos with Witsit.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, for Witsit, it is.
No, it's just. Sorry, embarrassing wasn't the right word. It's draining. Witsit is a character. Hey, Quanta, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? What a live!
I mean, I just figured there's enough physicists here. May as well have more, right?
Hey, we can always have more physicists. I love it.
I love it.
Happy to be here.
So, Dr. Blitz, I want to ask, you were saying you are a kind of physicist who does an exceptionally large amount of geometry and trigonometry and stuff like that.
Well, not trigonometry, but geometry, yes.
So my immediate reaction is like, there's nobody more qualified to talk about and rule in and on the shape of the planet. Almost the only more qualified people are people who've actually been to space.
You'd think, but actually, it turns out that a high school dropout who talks to children and gives them flyers is actually more qualified.
Yeah. Yes.
Also, a non-sarcastic response would be geologists. They would
geologists too. Yeah.
We actually have a geologist-ish on the panel here.
Does my mic work? Is this working?
Who's that?
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, I didn't know. So new headset.
Also, you're a little outnumbered. There's like 4 physicists in here.
Well, I'm a
geophysics is definitely a field of physics. Yes,
that's just physics slowed down with trees on top.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if I like that, but I'll take it.
The trees aren't even rounding errors.
I don't care about trees. Fuck trees, dude.
Yeah, they're not even rounding errors.
Oh, hey, Mark.
That was a long debate.
That sure was. Oh my
God!
I
this to yourself, Mark.
Because I'm a sucker for punishment.
I just tuned out for like the last 30 minutes because like if he wasn't gonna let us talk, like I'm just gonna scroll my phone.
No, dude. Okay, Nathan. I've never seen him that well behaved for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genuinely, the guy is a monumental asshole. I would never debate him because he's just an asshole on every level through and through. And the idea that he is like I saw you do that to him like at one point, and I was like, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And then he does it, and it's like you're responding directly to the point you just made.
You can tell he's very triggered when he's doing that. He's
Oh, he was entirely triggered the entire time. He was fuming the entire time. It was hilarious.
And normally though, he gets a lot more obnoxious than he got.
Well, he
Yeah.
started out obnoxious before the debate because he was asking us to send through a list of our arguments that we were to keep to for the debate. And so we sent them through, kind of thing. And then his opening has stuff about gas pressure, which he didn't put down. Like, he basically asked us to do something and then just violated it himself. Just like, it's like, who does that? And then, like, when you bring it up and say, hey, look, he
Needs some
does
time.
this, he's like, oh, cry. And it's like, are you a child? Like,
Don't act
how old are
surprised,
you?
Doc. Don't act surprised.
Oh,
I'm
man.
not surprised. It's just like it really is a toddler, you know, sort of saying, oh, but you know, the rules don't apply to me. It's who is this guy? Like, what is wrong with him?
There was a part of that debate where you and Blitz were being given some time to talk, and I look over at Nathan and Angel's you know, video squares, and they're both just, you know, mocking you and acting like little children. It was sad to watch. I'm like, oh my God. I felt bad for them. I felt bad for their audience. Like, these are the people they look up to. It was sad. I was upset.
Well, I was glad Dr. Blitz was there. You did amazing, mate. I got to say, like,
appreciate you, Mark.
absolutely amazing.
I appreciate
Absolutely, I felt very ignorant sitting next to you. I'll put
You
it
both
that way.
did very well.
I appreciate
I tried.
the very brief neutrino shout out.
I always got to mention you.
I love that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, I was like,
It-
oh man,
If
the
y'all don't
level.
know me, if y'all don't know me, whenever
he's a
I
neutrino
am on
physicist.
whenever I'm on
Or
flat
not
Earth debates
neutrino.
or anything, I always bring up the Minos neutrino experiment because it is such a perfect.
Is
Okay.
that the one? Is that the one that took a photo of the like core of the sun?
No,
That's the Super Kamiokande experiment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is another. That's the
Minos
second one
is
I bring
also
up.
good. Yeah.
Yes.
No. Quantanaut is the one who told me about the Minos or the neutrino experiments. I wouldn't have known about it otherwise.
Yeah.
Because he actually
No.
worked at Minos, right? You worked.
That's-
Well,
or
I
you
worked on the beam.
no,
I
no,
worked on the same beam line. Yeah.
Yeah.
And neutrinos are subatomic particles, right? Just
Yes.
to you say where my level of understanding
Yes.
is.
Yeah,
Neutrinos.
they can pass through matter.
Yeah.
Neutrinos
Correct.
are particles that basically only interact via the weak force, the weak
This is
nuclear
correct.
force. They do not interact via the electromagnetic force, the strong force. They do interact via presumably
Gravity,
at least,
yes.
gravity, but we can't.
But they don't already
presumably,
believe
we
that, so
can't-
we don't got to worry about that.
Yeah, we can't measure it though because they're really fucking.
They
light.
work by what? Gravity's fake. Gravity's not real.
Exactly, so we don't even get to worry about that.
Gravity
But
is
the
fake.
best-
Science
the
is
best
fake.
part about all that-
facts are a myth and truth is lie.
The best part about all that is that they can't claim refraction because neutrinos
thing
don't
is-
refract.
Blitz said we've seen neutrinos pass through the Earth, and like, oh,
Yes.
they're too small to see. We didn't see them. Like, seriously, he meant we've observed them. Like, we're
Yes.
not. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's kind of real sophistry and real pedantic
And
kind of stuff.
Depending on what you mean by
Horrible.
see, you can see the
Right.
way you can see anything else.
I mean,
Like,
as somebody
if
who
you're-
builds particle detectors, I mean, the
Right.
human eye is just a type of particle detector. When you think about it.
Exactly.
So
if you're in Super
I think a biologist
Kamiokande,
would be pissed at you
if
about
you're
that.
in that pool and a nearby supernova happens to occur and there are 20 neutrinos that cause,
the
Bremsstrahlung
Cherenkov, yeah, Cherenkov, it would be, yeah.
that's what I meant. Sorry. A radiation, then you're gonna see it. It's gonna be bright enough.
Yeah.
It's blue light, and it's gonna like.
I don't know
What?
if it's light. Yeah.
What
Yeah,
do you
but
want?
you
Yeah, no, it is light.
Hold on, everybody.
It's
You
light.
can't
It's
science the
blue
sky,
light.
right?
Yep.
What
Yeah, so
what
what
does the
happens-
guy who probably has an FBI van out in front of his house think? Can we ask
that's a
that
good
very
question.
important question?
We
What-
should
what-
take him in on some of our collaborations and
Right,
consult
yeah.
with him on how we should build our detectors.
I'm sure he can
What
tell you
is
all about the
that? Without
ethereal wind.
Screaming at
I'm sure he
children?
can tell you
he
all
got
about that
arrested?
ethereal wind.
Oh yeah, he loved mentioning the ethereal vortex. The
Oh,
yeah.
word vortex too also got me like the fact that he has, even if there was an ether, What in
I
the
love
world is an
Andy's
ethereal
reaction.
vortex?
He's
Like,
trying to copy Austin Whitsitt. That's
Yep.
what he's trying to do.
They're-
Because Austin
I mean,
Whitsitt does that kind
he's
of
not as
word
educated.
salad.
The thing is, they should use the word. They should skip to the word torus. It's way more compelling than vortex, in my opinion.
well, they already do
Don't
like the
give
word
them
donut.
suggestions, please. Don't
They
give them
do like the word
suggestions,
donut,
Andy.
so
Just say
you know.
toroidal vortex field. Just say the ether drift of the toroidal vortex field causes deflection of the photons through the atmosphere.
I mean, I just hope that they respond by saying that they have disproved the vectorial nature of gravity using a Van de Graaff generator, because I will fucking light them on fire.
And also, if they say that we can't, nobody's
aeroplane?
seen neutrinos. Well, nobody's seen the ether.
Mark.
I mean,
So
Yeah.
in the U.S., so
Yeah.
British English and by extension Australian English,
Australian,
aeroplane has an O in it, AERO plane.
Mhm.
In the U.S., it's AIR as an airplane. It's just two different
You
spellings.
have
the same way.
aeronautics and aerodynamics. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it's just a different. Like, they just didn't know that because they're
I
uneducated.
thought you guys used like aeroplane as well.
Nope.
Aeronautics and
Sorry,
airplane.
it's aeronautics in the US, Bandy. Come on now.
I'm
blame
not a
probably
very smart
Webster,
weasel,
I guess.
okay?
I don't know.
Like 3 out
It was
of 10.
definitely Webster. Absolutely Webster's fault.
You know, maybe in these future debates we gotta bring in a linguist as well to debate on that front.
Maybe,
honestly,
maybe.
it was so cringe. Like, it's an airplane with my stupid.
Because
I don't know.
the
I don't even know
plane
where he's
is
from.
from.
Is he from Australia? I don't
Yeah.
want to call his accent stupid.
No,
He's also
it
from
sounds
Australia.
South African to me. Sounds
I
South
think he is South
African.
African.
Just call it stupid. It's okay.
I loved having the
Great job.
combination
Great
of Mark, who is very experienced with debates, and a physicist who does tons of geometry and
Hey,
who
I
does
debate-
a little
I
astro.
debate 3 to 5 times a week and have done so for 2 years.
Fair enough.
I was
No,
gonna
you were
say,
a
I was
good
like, he
debater
knows
too,
what's up.
sure.
Yeah, no, I
But
don't.
I just don't
I
do it on
love
YouTube.
the combo. You guys made a very good team because it felt like Blitz, like you weren't even really coming in that much and talking a lot some of the time. Like Mark was making arguments, but then you would add facts. And
That's
you
how-
still
so-
ended up becoming the top of the poll of the who argued
Yeah.
best.
I mean,
It was
that's how
great.
it tends to go. Generally, so this is just me. This is just like a thing about me. Like, I will absolutely like overtalk people unless I just don't talk very much. So I try to. So like when I'm doing like 2v2s, I try to be on the quiet side because otherwise I will like that. That's just like my brain will just like do that automatically. So I just try to like if I have something to say, I'll say it, but otherwise I'll try to keep quiet.
No, I'm absolutely glad because you had a lot more knowledge about the physics than I do. Surprisingly enough, I was just saying on my channel, it's hardly surprising that you knew a lot more than I did. I mean, that is your field.
I mean, what ends up happening is that like, and so there are a lot of people. Do you guys know Peter Markley? You must know Peter.
I do not know.
He's another globe debater type. Interestingly enough, he's a young Earth creationist, but also like very clever guy.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
very
wow.
interesting.
That's a
I
weird
know somebody like this.
It's very interesting. Anyway, so like so there's people like Peter Markley and Bob the science guy whose name I forget, and like so there are a lot of people who are a lot more involved in flat Earth than I am, who like have done experiments themselves, like have gone out and measured things with like telescopes and stuff like that. And so like I usually leave the practical stuff to those kinds of people, just because I don't have the time for that. Like Tapioca. Like,
Also, you're
what
a
it's like.
theorist,
Well, and I'm a theorist, right? So like I will absolutely tell you about like the historical experiments.
Leave it
I
to
will
us
tell you about how these things work.
experimentalists.
Yeah. I don't like. I'll leave the experiments, the experimentalists, right? So yeah, it's always a good team up when I'm with somebody who actually has like done these has like looked through the experiments that have been done recently, has done the recent experiments and those kinds of things. And I'll just be happy to talk about like the actual physics of what's going on.
And one other thing I love is because Mark is in Australia, they had to talk a couple times about how it's earlier in the day where he is. I was like laughing my butt off when that came up, like how that alone completely destroys their flat Earth idea. But of course, they don't even flinch at it anymore. I was asking several times in the chat too to the moderator please ask these flurfs if they can show us the edge. Because if they can't show us the edge, all they're doing is flapping their gums. But of course, I didn't have money to make it a super chat, so.
Well, it's going to be interesting come final experiment time, right? Because they
they're already backtracking.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like they're sort of saying
they know the Earth isn't flat.
Yeah, and they've said in the past, like, oh, there's no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Now they've switched to, well, even if there is, it doesn't prove that the Earth is a globe. And it's like, well, yeah, but
and
how
there
does it
goes
work
the
on
goalposts.
They wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't even address that hypothetical. Like, how would you explain it if there is a 24-hour sun? They're like, nope, not going there. Don't want to answer that. You know, it's sort of like what.
Seriously? Yeah, you know what's funny? Will Duffy, the guy who's sending all those people to Antarctica, he's also a young Earth creationist. How amusing is that? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he was an old Earth creationist. Interesting.
Oh, is he? You know what? He might be one of those ones that like rides the line and is a little bit here.
Oh, I don't know.
He's one of the more scientific ones, maybe. You know,
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't think young Earth creationism is on much more solid ground than flat Earth. I think it's only marginally less stupid.
Yeah, I can agree with that. One thing I want to ask is how you guys thought Ryan did, because I do have some thoughts.
Ryan, I mean, he kind of gets lost on track and like goes over questions multiple times. I get that it's rough. I really do. It kind of annoyed me at the time, and then I'm like, well, he's really doing it by himself. He has to somehow keep Nathan under control, which he did pretty well with, considering how out of control the guy can get. So yeah, I think he did an all right job. I just think his debates run so long, and it is rough to sit in there for 4 hours. It really is. Blitz can back me up on this.
I think that he bent the knee to Nathan too much. And I know why he did it, because Nathan is a prime guest, because Nathan brings in a lot of audience because he's a whack job.
When you have a circus, you got to bring in the clowns, right?
Right, right. But he shouldn't have given him nearly as much free reign. Like, he should have told him to chill or get kicked or something like that, because the fact that we weren't even able to have an open discussion, that he was like, yeah, I just want to get to the like we talked for 40 minutes and then we had 3 hours of Q&A. It was like, honestly, it was. That's unacceptable. Like, Q&A should never be 3 times longer than the actual debate.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do agree, but
I agree completely. And the thing that I was like, what? Was when he was like, okay, we're just gonna ask them the question, but we're not gonna give you time to respond to their answers. That was absurd.
Yeah, when he said that, I just pulled up my phone and I started scrolling.
Nathan started, I get to lie, and you don't get to correct me.
Yeah,
he was gloating on screen about it.
Like
and
a
I
middle
wanted
school
to
bully, I
be like,
swear.
Ryan, come on.
Well, from my experience of Monday debate, whoever has done the worst will get the most questions. That is a hard and fast rule. Whoever has done badly will get so many questions because people want to challenge them on it. Like, so don't forget that.
I mean, you can't look away from a train crash, right?
Yeah.
Right, and when somebody starts spouting nonsense, you want to go, how the frig does that work? Like, you know, there's that impetus to sort of and you know, I got a couple of questions directed towards me. Blitz almost got none directed towards him because he answered everything.
He's
so it's the people.
Somebody gave me a pity question, but somebody just gave me like, oh, what are you working on? I'm like, okay, I get your pity, but I will absolutely talk about my work.
Yeah, so I think that, you know, it sort of is a double-edged sword, and I get that at a certain point you've got to, like, I did appreciate that we weren't having the back and forth, and you know, you always want to respond, but it's, you know, at some points you just have to accept that you may not get to, and the question is for somebody else. It's just, you've got to accept that. That's the format that they put in there. You go into the debate knowing that if they get too long, they might do that. It's just something you've got to accept, and the fact that almost every single question was for them shows that they did the worst job because people want to challenge them on it. So yeah,
that's a fair point, Mark. I was just like, I kept going like, if he's not going to give the opposition time to respond, he should just wrap it up. If he's saying we don't have time, then you know, it's definitely unfair to give all that time to the other side and give no time for rebuttal. But Otherwise, I do think he did a really good job because it was definitely a really hard job. A 4-hour plus debate with 1,000 plus people watching. Again, you guys, phenomenal job. We won't even keep this little after party too long because I'm sure, it's late.
I got to get some to eat.
It's
Yeah.
late where I am.
I have to be up for another live show I'm going on tomorrow morning at 8.
Yeah, so we'll maybe wrap it up.
All right.
5
Well,
to 10
this one was my idea, so
Is there any more thoughts anybody
I
has?
just remembered. I remember. Remember that like weird clock app thing that he showed with like the Earth and everything, and the light is doing the weird funhouse mirror
the weird
thing.
bendies. The weird
The weird bendies.
Yeah.
Who wants to bet if you were to look at the source code for that app?
Oh yeah,
somewhere in there.
We have.
Someone did.
In there is the radius of the
Someone
Earth.
did, and it is. Yep, it's right in there.
This one is a globe earther.
Oh my god,
yeah.
that
And
is
so
hilarious.
he showed this because if you drag that circle to the outer rim of that flat Earth, which of course Nathan would never do because he realizes
this is what I wanted to do. I had it pulled up.
Right.
Oh,
you have to see the light bend almost about 270 degrees in order to get the star coming from the wrong direction. So Walter Bislin basically said on it that this shows that flat Earth cannot work. It's demonstration that it can't work because light would have to bend in completely unrealistic, impossible ways in order to make it work. But of course, they just lie about it and say, no, that's how it works when it doesn't.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have one more other thought I just thought about. What has modern day debate thought about, like the ethics of hosting these guys on their channel, of having debates and not having like a major disclaimer before they do these debates? Hey, this debate is just for fun. The Earth is not fucking flat. If you actually think it is, maybe go see a psychiatrist. Something like that.
I have thought about
that he wouldn't be able to get the people, of course, right?
Well, I've thought about this a lot. The ethics, basically, and the rationale that James used, because James is a psychologist, right? So the rationale that he's using is that the better arguments will win, kind of thing. And so whatever is the truth, it will eventually out. I have long questioned whether it's better to debate people like this or have them form echo chambers. I don't know which one is the better way to go. I honestly don't. But I think that sort of being able to present an opposition is better than them just doing these things without any opposition whatsoever.
Here's my issue. So I only have one minor issue. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah. No, go for it.
So I only have one minor issue, and that's that there are people. The only reason I ever got into modern day debates, in fact, the only reason I got into debates to begin with, was because you'll have people who go up to defend the flat Earth or the globe Earth. Really, I don't care if the flat earthers do this, but if the globe earthers do this, and they don't know what they're talking about because they're like white belts, that's unethical. Having people up who because like you'll have like some rando go up against Witsit who knows all of the tricks and tips and whatever, or you'll have like I remembered I watched this modern day debate. It was like a theological debate. And there was like 2 college kids up against like a PhD theologian
the Ben Shapiro method.
Well, yeah, basically. And so like what is unethical is having unbalanced
interlocutors. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's not ethical. Like
Really?
I don't think.
I mean, I got to admit, I feel like I'm punching down with these guys, though. Like,
oh well,
seriously.
yeah, but to be fair, Nathan Thompson is one of like the most high-end flat earthers, right? He's one of the big ones.
That's tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's Witsit, Nathan Thompson. It's like a few of these other people on YouTube. I guess David Weiss,
Eric Dubay, all that
Eric
shit,
Dubay, but
yeah.
like those are the big names right now, and Nathan Thompson is on that list. So
yeah,
my philosophy with these sorts of debates has always been more that they are an excuse or like a vehicle for me to talk about cool physics to the audience.
Yeah, me too.
And it's really just like the debate part is just for the entertainment to draw people in. But once I have a captive audience, it's like, I can tell you all about neutrinos. Like
Yes.
If somebody gets me started on relativity, which is why I love debating Whipsit, by the way, because then I just get to talk about relativity for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Flat
You can say
Earth
whatever you
isn't
want.
my favorite debate. I prefer to have and I like the debate. I like examining ideas, breaking them down, logical fallacies, philosophy, stuff like that. I like breaking that apart. So I don't know. I like shoving ideas up one another and seeing what breaks, really, which is fun. But anyway, I'm going to take off. I'm going to go get something to eat. But yeah, thanks so much, Dr. Blitz. That was a blast. And,
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure.
I think that is a great note to end this on. Is there anything else we want to get out there? Or
you guys need to shout out your socials, seriously.
Yes.
Let's
start over. I'll start. I'm Austin Sims. I'm the creationism super thesis guy. You can find my YouTube channel very easily by just typing in Austin Sims. I'll be right at the top of the profiles that are just named Austin Sims. I'm the gorilla in a gi with like 50 something subscribers. Dr. Blitz.
My name, it's the same thing everywhere. This way, same thing everywhere. Dr. Blitz or Blitz PhD. Google me. You'll find me anywhere.
Mark.
I'm at Mark Reid Atheism, and yeah, I'm doing stuff over there too. Yeah.
Is there anybody else who wants to share their spots?
I don't make content myself, but I do host a show on
Bad Science.
Leech off the nipple of somebody a lot more talented. I got you, Vandy. I got you.
I do, absolutely.
That comment was for that shut off Mark's mic in the debate. You didn't think I noticed. I did.
Fair enough. Anyway,
I did notice that super chat from you telling to mute me. You asshole.
I'm absolutely the worst. But yeah.
That was awesome. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So thank you. I really did.
Last episode of BSS was great.
You should go on Bad Science Sunday, Dr. Blitz. It is a blast. I've been on there before.
And absolutely.
They find the most mind-meltingly dumb stuff to review. Like, I mean, just stupid.
I'd be happy to go on. Just send me. Like, I have a.
I will.
I think I have my email, my public-facing email address in my
bio.
You
and I are now connected on
Discord. That's true.
So many levels. Yeah.
There you go.
Intellectually, spiritually, physically, so many levels.
True.
So many levels.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna go get ready for bed, so I can get up for more debate tomorrow morning.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Blitz. Take care.
You're awesome. Thanks,
I guess I can do a little plug for myself.
Go
if
for
you
it.
don't mind. I'm Quantanaut or Quanta. Same username everywhere. I mostly do stuff on TikTok. I make videos. I work on the relativistic heavy ion collider in New York, and I also do a lot of R&D work for the future electron ion collider. So I make a lot of videos on those, just funny videos. I do lives on TikTok. Starting to get into Blue Sky a little bit, so we'll see where that goes. But
nice.
yeah, that's what I'm about.
That sounds super cool.
Yeah. The only issue is
that
that I'm a grad student, so I have very limited time to do lives and stuff.
That is fair.
That's your life, dude.
I often do lives right from the lab, like while I'm doing something like soldering or something. Need time to kill. I often just pop on.
That sounds awesome.
That's so cool.
Would love to join you for that.
I'll be following you.
Sure, thank you.
Well, I think that is pretty much going to be the end of the chat. I mean, I was so cool to have all these physicists come in and, to show me how much how little I know about physics, despite having loved physics for such a long time. I'm more of an evolution guy myself, but I do love physics, and it's been great chatting with you guys. Phenomenal job on your debate, Mark. That was awesome. You and Dr. Blitz killed it. You were so prepped. You were so classy and cool, while your opponents were such middle school dickheads. You killed it, man. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Go and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to everybody else. Peace out. Awesome humans.